Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here today with Jenny Hoffman, who is President and CEO, and Sandy Chun, who is Chief Revenue Officer of Illusso. Now, what is Illusso? Well, it's a consulting company and more, and we're going to talk to them. It's a fairly new company. It's focused on hotels, and we're going to find out all about this company as well as what's happening with hotels today in this hopefully nearly post-pandemic environment. Obviously, a lot of things have changed in the hotel market, and both Jenny and Sandy know all about it, and they're going to tell us. And you'll find out about all this and more on Insider Travel Report. Now, first of all, both of you, how are you and where are you? Jenny, where are you?
Well, thank you, James, again for the opportunity to be on your popular program today. We're definitely big fans of Insider Travel Reports, so we're very excited to be invited to this program. Well, it's been quite a ride in the last 12 months. We're doing great though and hanging in there. Sandy and I are actually in Southern California. I live in Orange County.
Okay.
We're very excited to launch this new company together, and we have two other partners, Melissa Braverman,
Right.
whom you know, and then we have Maria Pineda, who I worked with at the St. Regis, New York, and she also came from the Mandarin Oriental, New York.
Oh, wow.
We're, but they're not here today, unfortunately, but they definitely have contributed quite a bit, to the company. So we're on the roll.
Yeah. Now, Sandy, where are you located?
My travel mind is in London, as you could see from my background, but my physical body is based out of sunny Los Angeles.
Okay, so you're good. Well, we're all thinking about London and getting back there, that's for sure. Now, Jenny, tell us a little bit about Alusso, when you formed it. What does it do? Who your clients are? And I assume my impression is you're focused mostly on consulting with luxury hotels, correct?
Well, thanks, James, for letting us share a little bit about the company. As you know, our industry has been severely impacted by the pandemic, which hit us without any warning. So we kind of have to adapt very quickly in order to survive. It was very devastating for me to see that many of our industry friends, and partners losing their job or businesses, and in many hotels had no option but to close the door. We didn't really know what to do at the time, except for just waiting and hoping that things were going to get better, but it didn't. And more people were also getting laid off. So we thought, we could either sit here and wait for things to happen or do something about it.
Right.
So I actually start calling. I have a few ideas that I put together, and I start calling my friends in the industry. And luckily that a few of them have expressed interest. Sandy is one of them, and she was very interested. So one thing led to another. We put our heads together, and we came up with an idea, which is really a cell representation for hotels around the world.
Right.
And we do focus on 5-star property. Okay. That's kind of our first, concept. But today, after talking to so many sales leaders, they're actually looking for more than that. Some of them don't really need a whole presentation, but they just need help with the PR, with a little bit of marketing, right. And social media help, because a lot of these DOSM have to carry on so many, they have to wear many hats, right? And some of the areas, because they don't have any staff, because they were laid off, so they sort of have to take on multiple roles.
Sure.
And sometimes all they need is just someone to manage the social media, or even like someone to create an ad for them, since they don't have full-time staff.
Right.
So this is where we come in. This is how Illusso was created. We are here to be their resources. And if they just want a couple of press releases, we have a team that will write that up.
Yeah,
it's very affordable. It's kind of fit the budget. And it's been a growing demand from our hotels, to say the least. So we're excited.
Yeah. Now, Sandy and or Jenny, either one can answer this. What does Eluso mean? I believe it's an Italian word, right?
Yes. Illusso takes its name from two Italian words. Il means the, and lusso means luxury.
Okay.
Well, it took me several months to come up with the name because we wanted it to represent luxury. But every time, we come up with anything that's similar to luxury, someone has taken it already. So it's quite overused in the United States. But one day I was talking to my friend in Italy. She moved there, a few years ago. And she was the one that came up with that because she knew I was struggling with the name. So she said, why not use Illuso? And I said, yeah, it sounds great, but chances are it's probably going to be taken. So I checked immediately and I was surprised that it was available. So I grabbed that name, registered it, paid for it. So now we own the name.
That's great.
We love it.
No, it sounds like a very apt name, and I love Italian words, so we're good with that. Now, Sandy, tell me a little bit about your background in hotels.
So I've been in the industry for over 30 years, but how it got started was when I was 16, there was this hopeful article about plans to open hotels underwater and on the moon. And that idealism actually led me into majoring in hotel and restaurant management.
Okay.
So after I got out of college, I worked in both operations and then transitioned into revenue management, held both, at hotel level and corporate level positions. But they were mainly all for lifestyle and luxury focused branded companies, which led me to companies like Design Hotels, Starwood Hotels and Resorts, and now Illuso, where I'm very excited to be.
And Jenny, same question. What's your background?
I fell in love with the industry about 30 years ago. I have a degree in IT, believe it or not. I was miserable working in the IT world. The first hotel that I experienced was a Hyatt in Thailand, in Bangkok. I was there to set up an IBM system,
right?
Because that's kind of the area that I was, going for. When I entered that hotel, I just felt it. I thought, my gosh, what an environment! And it was like a 4.5-star hotel, catered towards a royal family, and they have a huge meeting space. But because my degree was in IT, I thought, well, I better stick with that. But as years go, I had an opportunity to actually move to Los Angeles.
Right.
And the first hotel that I was hired to do, as basically an admin work was actually in Beverly Hills.
Oh, wow.
And the hotel right now is changed the name to Orlando Hotel. But I opened that property, and since then, I never left. I never left the industry. I just love the excitement of it. I just love the clientele that we have, and really the service that I give the customer, and that's really satisfying me the most.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that this industry, travel and hotels in particular, is somewhat addicting, I would think, right?
Very addicting. And even my parents today still couldn't believe that I left. A great job, right? They had no idea what hotels does and what it's all about. So after that, I was lucky enough to move around a little bit and then start joining the Starwood Hotels.
Right.
I was with them for about 14 years. I went from director of sales on property to a few senior leadership roles, including director of sales and marketing area role in Los Angeles. Then I transferred to New York. I managed 12 properties of Starwood Hotels, in both New York and New Jersey.
Right.
And after that, I basically moved back and enjoyed the Montage Beverly Hills. And this is really where I learned, the most about the luxury independent travel, right? So, and that's kind of what I wanted anyway, to learn a little bit more about independent hotels. Montage is really one of my favorite properties, where we built a very strong network of elite travel professionals. And these are, people that are members of American Express, FHR, Virtuoso, Signature. And this is really the area that is our main focus at Elusa.
No, great. Now, I want to ask both of you, and let's start with Sandy. What do you think hotels, especially obviously higher-end luxury hotels, should be doing now to get back into business? What are the keys to emerging from this pandemic? And we'll start with Sandy, and then Jenny, you can add on.
Yeah, that is a main question, isn't it? What are the keys that we need to focus on? And in my opinion, I think not losing its identity is something that we need to focus on. With over 18% of the luxury level hotels in U.S. closing since March of last year, There's got to be a lot of transition in staffing, and whether we get to rehire the old staff back or have to, develop and hire new people, I think there is a heavy need for training.
Right.
As you know, I mean, there's so many teams who, work very well in the luxury market and used to have very fluid, good fluidity movement and, providing different services. Well, there are a lot of restrictions that are coming about because of the pandemic. Every country is different. Every state, county, and city is different. So how do you stay on top of that and shift as the market conditions change? And especially in the luxury market, there's a lot of focus and the experience portion of it. So at the end of the day, I think it's all about the people. If the team's ready, then the pandemic restrictions could be overcome, and we'll be better equipped to deal with the travel demand, especially the pent-up travel demand.
Absolutely, and we're all waiting for that. Absolutely. Now, Jenny, same question. Anything to add on to that?
I think that Sandy covered pretty much all of it. What I can say is that, we've seen that general manager and director of sales are really struggling a little bit in trying to take on so many tasks, and they really appreciate the fact that we offer something with no long-term commitment. If it's something that could be just 2 or 3 weeks assignment or, 3 months assignment just to get them through the pandemic. So this is something, and that's why we started to hear from so many hotels right now. LinkedIn, which is blowing up. We've been getting a lot of requests for it, and I just helping them, save the money and also increase their profit and growth. It's just the excitement that our team have, especially they're so passionate into helping out and helping them recover.
No, absolutely. And we'll stick with you also as well. What do you think is different today in terms of marketing luxury hotels? What has changed? And what are you advising your clients about the sales and marketing strategies they should adopt in this sort of new age of travel, if you will?
Well, we've been under lockdown, James, for over a year and had to operate very differently, right? We mostly just operate remotely, just what we're doing now. Budget is tight, and I know revenues are down. So not everybody is going to be able to afford to have the staff back, as we had in 2018. We definitely anticipate deployment change with every hotel. Instead of having a full staff, they may have to outsource, a little bit more, just to kind of see and wait and see what's going to happen in the economy. So hotels have become a lot more strategic and are more cost conscious as well. There's some new trending technology that have come out. There's so many of different ways to do it today, but for the sake of time, I'm going to focus on one trend that I think is very important, and it's getting a lot of attention, in case you're not aware. Face-to-face meeting have only been done over Zoom and video call.
Right.
And people are getting tired of that, they're getting exhausted from Zoom call. So today, what's really is becoming popular is the live stream video. Okay. I don't know if anyone has seen that, but Amazon Live actually has a site that designed just for that, because people today, they just want to see live people showing them how to use the product. And then they'll be able to ask questions live instead of reading it through, reviews or TripAdvisor or Yelp. They want the hotel to answer directly. They want the hotels to be transparent and also being able to just exactly show them what really is happening at that place, instead of just, hide it behind a review and then a beautiful photography that may not be relevant today.
Right. No, that certainly makes sense. And I know this has all changed our lives. Obviously, it's been the one good thing, if I will, to this kind of Zoom video. And you're suggesting live is also coming because, for us, it's been crucial. Because we used to do all live interviews, right? I'd be standing with the two of you now, hopefully in some great backdrop, and now we're doing it all by Zoom, and that's a good thing in a certain sense. But you're right, we're all getting a little tired of Zoom meetings and Zoom everything. So it's we got to look at
James, China has been doing this for several years, as you know. and they have this app called WeChat, right? And WeChat.
Oh yeah, I have one.
Oh, you have one. Well.
Oh, I'm on WeChat. Yes.
Well, Chinese use it for everything, right? From banking, selling, referring business to other people. So it's just that no one has does without WeChat. And I think that this is catching on very quickly in the U.S. I know there's some security and privacy laws that people are still concerned about, but it's coming. It's coming quick.
No,
so I would suggest that our advice to get familiar with it quickly and learn how to take advantage of that.
No, absolutely. Now, Sandy, what is different in terms of hotel operations? Because obviously we have all these COVID protocols in place, and the question has been for a while, can you have all these protocols and still deliver a luxury experience?
I am hopeful that we can. I believe that we can still continue to deliver luxury services and experiences. Now, operations, you're absolutely right, James. I mean, with the pandemic, there has been so many ups and downs, right? Change your breakfast setup, open your hotel, close your hotel, clean your room every 3 days instead of every day. Yeah. There are a lot of things to adjust to. Well, I think, hotel operations now needs to be more than just implementing SOPs. It requires operations team to be a lot more creative with coming up with solutions. Something as simple as, hey, your gym is indoors, so you shouldn't have it open. Can we set up activities outdoor, like outside yoga? And Illusso team, we've been talking about how we would assist our clients through these type of situations, and at the end of the day, we could pull our resources together and come up with more creative solutions. But operations, yes, I think they're going to end up wearing a lot more hats, and maybe even learn to appreciate what marketing and branding and sales team do on a regular basis because of it.
No, that's it. And I know I go to a lot of properties already. I'm traveling, going to properties, and every time I get there, I'm not quite sure, are they going to clean my room today? Right. Or do I have to ask for it? Old days it was just a no-brainer, and now they've sometimes we're going to wait till you ask for it, or maybe we're not. It really, everybody has a little different thing. I mean, I feel safe. I feel protected, but it is a different situation where you used to take things for granted, and now you kind of sort of have to double check that some of that services are going to be there. Let me ask you, Jenny, how can hotels increase brand awareness in this new environment? What's the key to get kind of consumers and obviously our audience of travel advisors to understand a hotel brand today and what it's going to deliver?
Well, I to piggyback on Sandy a little bit earlier, they really need to rely heavily on the new age of live streaming. To me, that is basically the next best thing that I mentioned earlier. And the content marketing is so crucial, right? Especially the short, instead of doing a text e-blast, that's really a waste of time today, because a lot of time these go into the spam. So people really need to come up with some new short version of e-newsletter that customer might have subscribed. Keep them informed of what's happening, at the hotel. Again, the COVID rule is so crucial that they need to know what's going on, because not every hotel has the same method. Now, another important thing is to learn about what areas, that are open or closed. And update the website and make sure the photos are relevant to today's environment. Don't keep the photo of a pool that has a lot of people in it, because that's definitely not a good thing to promote the hotel. I have even seen some picture of the bar that are full of people and some of the websites, so these need to be looked at. Need to be clean. And I know that it costs some money to get some new photo taken, but it is the best investment for you.
Yeah, now the people are airbrushing in face masks lately, it seems, because I do get that question. Even here when we do an interview, and especially a live interview, and it's the old Shakespearean question: to mask and not to mask. It is just it's amazing. And if you don't mask, some people will get to us and say, why weren't you wearing a mask? And My standard answer is I was in the bubble. I was okay, right? We'd all been tested, so we were okay. But that happened just on a cruise recently. Now, let's talk to you, Sandy, about how can hotels drive revenue today? I mean, as we emerge from really some insanely low rate structures that were last year, and again, this is not everywhere. I was checking out rates in Florida recently, and they were pretty high, depending on where you are. But last year we had some incredible deals. You go to different places all around the world that were open, and now everybody wants to ratchet those rates back up to what they should be because demand was so low back then, and now people are starting to travel, right? So, Sandy, what do you think?
Exactly. And, it's always easier to drop your rates than increase it back up. So people need to be strategic about it, obviously. But, first thing that I could think of is you have to trust your product. We're sitting here talking about luxury market especially, and if you're confident about your product, if you're confident about your service, then you need to focus on that, communicate that, and be transparent about it. I think, luxury hotels within our overall industry has a responsibility to drive up rates for rest of the tiered hotels as well. Yeah. And, most of our clientele in the luxury market aren't all that, price sensitive. So I think it's perfect for luxury hotels to drive that ADR increase, RevPAR increase path for rest of the industry. And going back to what we've been talking about before, what Jenny mentioned about, the brand awareness or social media or marketing or, what I've said about operations, all those things will have to kind of gel together. And then we just need to market the heck out of it and tell people, hey, we're here. We could provide the services. Trust us. We trust ourselves. And we're here to deliver for you.
Absolutely. Now, Jenny, you mentioned it earlier, but just go over again the services that Eluso offers so that we can get that clear to the people out there.
Well, what we offer is the core business is really sales representation for our hotels outside of the U.S. because we are focusing on the U.S. market. Mm-hmm. That's kind of our first original concept. But as we work through, the pandemic, we started to hear more hotels asking for specific services. Okay. And I mentioned a little bit earlier about, just like help me with some press release, help me with managing the review on my social media. And they just want a little bit of just one or two things, not the whole package. So we basically just expanded, our concept to include that. Now, we, on the core business, we still are going to manage just 5-star hotels. We want to focus on those. But for other services like resources, we open it up for any type of property that needs help. So we basically have two options now. They can either go with a full package, which we're going to represent the property in the U.S., or just pick one of the services that we have.
So from the menu of services, right, that you offer, they can.
So we're really the only one, right now in the U.S. that offer these type of flexibility and a la carte options, which a lot of companies, they are not able to do that. They either take it all or nothing. But this way, with the budget cut from some of these hotels, and it just revenue stream is just is not coming in. Right. We want to customize our service to them. This is not, it's nice to make money, but I think it's very important to help our fellow industry people to stay afloat. We want them back.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And one of the keys, obviously, our audience are luxury travel advisors in general, but we have a strong contingent in our 85,000 travel advisors of luxury advisors. So, Sandy, how can and I'll ask Jenny you as well. How should luxury travel advisors be selling upscale hotels today, and how can they work better with top hotels and resorts to better sell them to their clients?
Well, luxury travel advisors are highly skilled, when it comes to understanding what luxury service should be and even understand the local culture of every property where they're located and based out of. But I think what you said earlier, James, when you were traveling, you weren't sure, am I getting my room cleaned right now versus not? Do I need to be scared versus not? There's nothing like actually experiencing it, to be able to influence the customer's decisions on where to book and where to go.
Right.
The first-hand experience, I think, it's the most important thing. If they could learn to process or learn the process of what's been happening during the pandemic would be very helpful.
No, absolutely. And that's what, and Jenny, anything to add to that about what you think advisors should be doing to help your clients essentially get more people in rooms?
To me, I would focus a lot more on the story of the hotel.
Right.
That will create the memories, excitement, and some curiosity that will enhance the guest experience. We need to make every minute count since we've been they've lost a year in lockdown and looking forward to make it out, for lost time.
No, absolutely. And and a lot of people want that. Obviously, the latest statistics on travel, despite what the CDC says, everybody wants to get back traveling one way or the other. And Jenny, we'll stick with you. Just overall, what has changed in terms of what luxury travel is today, if anything? Are you seeing it coming back sooner than maybe mid-market and lower-end travel? And is it sort of a little bit more resistant to crises like this? Or, I mean, obviously, this has been the worst crisis we've seen in travel, arguably. But do you think luxury travel is going to be different, or are we going to go back to what it was?
Luxury travel, from my experience and from talking to our hotel sales leaders, these people, they're wealthy. They are, there's so much pent-up demand right now for travel. I think the only thing that are holding them back is really not the cost to travel. It's really security.
Right.
It's the borders, whether or not it's open, and then quarantine. They're really preventing them, from just travel more.
Right.
So I don't see a lot of changes in that. I think that once the border opens up, and hotels, starting to get some certification to make them feel a little bit more comfortable, you're going to see them back. Right now, they are going to, hotels that are on the beaches or resort destinations that have open air and more outdoor activities.
Right.
They're going to that area right now. So I don't think that, anything is going to really impact much on the travel as long as the flights are going there, as long as the borders are open. And I know that Sandy's have experienced has information on this.
Yeah, Sandy, and let's get your take on that. Do you think that things are going to change in luxury, or is it going to be pretty much the same?
I think luxury will have an easier time catching up to its original numbers. If not, some may have actually exceeded it. So when I looked at some of the numbers along the coast, like in Florida or coastal cities in California, or even like Lake Tahoe locations, a lot of the luxury hotels have exceeded performance from 2018 and 2019. Wow. Because the travelers are so destination focused. At the end of the day, luxury or not, it's all about location. Like Jenny said, is there air travel there? Are there, quarantine restrictions? If that's the case, I think those hotels will specifically probably suffer a little longer. But other than that, if the location is not an issue and travel restrictions aren't there, then I think luxury market will recoup faster than anything else, if not already.
No, and I think you're absolutely right. And I think, late end of this year, 22, I'm sure is going to be a crazy year. And everyone is, all the luxury advisors I know say 23, and the end of 22, 23 is really, they're going to be booked out. So it's interesting because you got to get, whether you're talking about hotels or cruises or whatever, cruises got another thing going, is that all the people that had booked cruises last year, they all got their, future cruise credits, and now they're all racing to get those bookings and so now there won't be too much inventory. That's kind of an interesting thing. And I think the same goes probably with hotels where, if you couldn't go to that favorite resort or that favorite hotel this past year, you all want to go back to it. So now let's talk, Jenny, is there anything else that the travel advisors need to know about the luxury hotel market today and how to sell it? And what do you think are the secrets to ramping up business in later this year and in 22 and getting back to this new normal for travel? And we'll ask both of you, but Jenny, let's start with you.
Well, I think we touched on a couple of things in terms of the COVID protocol. Trying to get to understand what the hotel is doing to protect their guests. But on another note is that, I would definitely rely on reviewing analytics. Make sure that you get the report. If you have, report provided from your company, get those reports, and be more strategic in reaching out to the right target instead of going to the mass production. Hit the market that is your fan base. Start with that. Make sure that they stay with you. And some of these, the new age group is another thing that, they need to really put the focus on, because some of these groups, they are very tax savvy, and technology has made it so much easier for them to book themselves. So how do we keep these people, right, to make them stay loyal with you? It's really add, some more value to that. I think that today, instead of being a travel advisor recommending certain properties, they should become the personal assistant.
Right.
They keep them informed on a consistent basis. Maybe send them a little notes that we miss you, and we've got some incredible destination that you might be interested in. It's more a constant communication, instead of just hearing from them when they need to go somewhere. And then it's just amazing. And sometimes, you send a little note like that goes a long way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's funny because I think we've been trying to tell that message to a lot of travel advisors for some time, even before the pandemic, that you had kind of a constant concierge and a constant companion or whatever friend, and really, understand your clients that way, not just be there when they want to book something.
And luxury travelers, as you know, have very high expectations. Right. And they want personal attention. Particularly, we dealt a lot with the Middle East clientele, and you know how that goes. Yeah. We need to be like on our toes constantly, and they expect it.
Yeah. Now, Sandy, anything to add to that about what else travel advisors need to about the luxury hotel market today?
I think two quick things. One is don't take what the hotels are doing right now for granted. So if the travel advisors could, help foresee what may happen 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, focus on, RFPs on behalf of the properties, I think that would be really supportive and helpful. And second thing is, as they're getting the clients to book or try to convince them to book specific locations, I think transparency is the key. The fear of maybe losing the business because expectation level of certain services or amenity, I don't know. I think people will be a lot more forgiving now because of the pandemic. Right. So be transparent about that rather than, having people find out later, because if you lose integrity, people are not going to come back and book, right? So transparency from both ends, I think, would be very important.
No, that's great advice. And we'll see. Now, Jenny, not to the travel advisors, but to your clients, to the hotels, anything else you want to tell your hoteliers about both Eluso and the services you offer? And that's for Jenny first to start, and then Sandy, add on if you can.
All right. Well, we offer our hotels a lot more flexibility than many other representation companies offering, with no long-term commitment. And I think that this is the area where hotels are really looking for. We want to give them some space to rebuild their team back and then strategize the next steps. It's really never a one-size-fits-all for us. And hotels love the fact that we custom design, our service to each of their needs. And many representation company also either offer the whole package or nothing. And they have, many of them have over 700-800 hotels. So ability to give them a full attention is difficult. Now, our company, we want to keep it small. We may want to keep it between 40, 50 hotels, so that we can give a full attention to them and offer, more custom needs. Now, we can sit on the weekly call. We can sit on their monthly call. We want to be part of them instead of just representing and sort of every month you report out of what you're doing. But we want to stay in touch and make sure that they feel that we're one of them, in the U.S. And this has received a really great feedback from our sales leaders.
Well, yeah, you're kind of like the travel advisors. You want to be in constant communication with the hotels, just as the travel advisors should be in constant communication with their clients. So, Sandy, anything else to add to that?
Yes, please. I would like to share why I actually joined Elusa. Well, other than being able to work with Jenny again, was that our main focus was not just becoming a successful business. We created the company because we wanted to help the entire hospitality industry. And, it may sound corny, but that's really our goal and our motto. We have some amazing resources in our partners, in our people. And, what's better than just one focused business success versus, if the hotels are successful, if the travel advisors are successful, PR agents are successful, magazines, people like you. We want to help everybody, and we are in a unique position to do that. So I am proud to say that our main focus is not just one-dimensional business, but focus on entire hospitality industry success and seriously recovering and being successful together.
Well, and then we definitely need that recovery. I think we're seeing great signs of it, but obviously if a firm like yours can help in any way, accelerate that process and get people back sooner and back everyone back to travel, as we all hope they will, I think that's going to be a great accomplishment for your company. Now,
one more thing I'd like to add, James,
okay,
if I could. We offer also task force, assignments.
Right.
So if hotel needs someone for just a couple of weeks or a few months, we have very qualified staff that could just readily be available to help them get through the pandemic. So if they still not sure whether or not they want to, get the full-time staff back, we definitely have that resources to help them out.
No, that's great. That's great. Now, Jenny, where can hotels and travel advisors go to get more information about Elusa?
Well, we have all sorts of communication channels for them to reach out to us. Our website, we have a live chat. And of course, the illusso.co is where all the information is located. And it has a list of our phone number and email address. But, we also have access to WhatsApp, WeChat, like we mentioned earlier. And really just about every platform that is available out there. We want to make it convenient for our clients to be able to reach out to us. We also respond within the same day, and actually a lot of times we respond immediately.
Okay.
But we definitely are looking forward to hearing from them. We're very excited, and definitely visit our website. And our email is very easy to remember. It's uncovered@illusso.co.
Okay.
Something simple, but it is all on our website. So please visit our website and let us know. Or even just to call us to chat. We love to
Absolutely. Chat. Well, or you could do WeChat.
Yeah. Now I know you have WeChat. I'm going to actually invite you.
Yeah, I gotta find it. I think I haven't used it recently because I haven't talking to a lot of people in China. But it's an interesting system. But listen, Jenny and Sandy, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with us about Eluso, about the luxury hotel market today, about how travel advisors can really relate better to it, and also how we can all come back, much stronger in the luxury market. So I think you gave a lot of great ideas, both to our audience and to the hotels that might be listening out there. So again, I want to thank you for spending some time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, James. Really appreciate the opportunity.
Well, thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. I'm James Chillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.